Hello, traders. Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, Monday, the 27th of May, 2024. In this edition of your weekend video newsletter, we'll talk about the S&P 500, which remained in a very narrow 100-point range last week between 5250 and 5350. In addition, price action pinned at 5300 on anemic volume. The highlight, though, was the bearish engulfing candle on Thursday that bulls managed to reverse on Friday on top of another blowout earnings beat from NVIDIA. Semiconductors, technology, and communications were the leading sectors on Friday. After NVIDIA earnings, S&P 500 rallied at the open and then went sideways for the remaining part of the day. That said, NVIDIA earnings helped propel semiconductors, tech, and communications higher last week. We did see some weakness in real estate, transports, and energy, with similar results from the small cap sectors, which did push the index lower by 1.27% for the week. Still, NVIDIA captured the bulls' attention along with the bears on above average volume Thursday, followed through on Friday outside the upper Bollinger Bands for a second day. Bollinger Bands are opening up. So we'll look for semiconductors to continue this bullish trend unless we close below the 9 EMA. Looks like trend will continue. MACD is higher and volume well above average for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, along with bullish action in communications and technology, all of which reversed a portion of bearish engulfing candle. RSI is still above 50 and rising, with MACD and stochastics bullish. With that bullish action in the FANGs, the Qs, tech, communications, and technology, the NASDAQ 100 index continued higher as well, with the New York FANG index notching another bullish day. Looking for this trend to continue this week as RSI rises and MACD and stochastics remain fairly strong. Stochastics still embedded, but MACD is showing the bulls are still in control of these 10 New York FANG index stocks, telling you to focus on these names this week, along with semiconductors and technology. Unfortunately, not everything was working last week. We did have a bearish week on the small caps, losing 1.27%. If this manages to continue higher, we could do some put credit spreads, selling the 195s, buying the 190s, something like that. Looking for a follow through with similar action in the New York Stock Exchange. We did pull back to just above the 50-day, held the 21-day moving average. We're still in the upper half of the Bollinger Bands. Looking for a follow-through bounce on Monday. You know that I like pullbacks, but I also like to see a bullish second day to confirm that the bulls are still here. There's still a possibility we go down and test the 50-day or even lose it this week. 2,000 stocks on the composite, with new highs still beating out new lows. Advanced decline did turn up as well, and we're still on two red elder sticks, also neutral. This could go either way. Looking for a bounce on Tuesday. Breadth did improve on Friday, turning back up for the S&P 500, mid caps, small caps, and NASDAQ in descending order, respectively. All four has turned up. We want to see a follow through on Tuesday. Finishing up with a mixed signal on the NIMO and NAMO. Both of these show NASI and NYSE, respectively, turning back down. So we want to see this hook back upward if we're bullish. That would confirm another bullish signal for the week. With a smaller range in the S&P 500 spiders, Qs, and IWM detected for the end of the week. Junk bonds also recovered bouncing back above the 21-day moving average. RSI is above 50. This is a bullish development, and we'd look for this to follow through. Stochastic is nearly oversold. MACD is still above the zero line, showing the bulls and the bears are active but in agreement with price at the present time. Inside day on Friday. So best case scenario, we have a bullish follow-through day on Tuesday. Look for that if you're bullish on equities. In addition, we have a bearish to neutral signal for equities with the 10-year yield above the 50-day moving average, hanging out at 4.46%. If you're bullish equities, you want to see this drop back down below the 50-day, along with a move lower in the US dollar. With the latter holding right near the 50-day moving average, making a series of lower highs, we'd like to see a lower low this week if you're bullish equities. And if that does happen, we'd look for gold to bounce at the 50-day moving average, creating a range at highs, along with silver, which held up a little stronger above the 9 EMA. RSI is still above 50. MACD and stochastics are cycling. We did see some selling volume on Wednesday, Thursday, with shorts covering on Friday, while crude oil and gasoline remain near the lows of the week for the Memorial Day weekend. If you're bullish equities and the economy, you'd like to see this move a little bit lower. It's a double bottom for now, right at the 200-day moving average. So I would expect that we could see some strength in crude oil products and gasoline this week, as commodities generally stay in a range. Could see a move back up to the highs or back down to the 200-day moving average. So this is a neutral signal going into Tuesday trading. One of the more bearish signals for the past 4 weeks has been the XLY-XLP, consumer discretionary to consumer staples ratio. Whenever this is turning down, that's bearish for equities. So we have 3 bearish signals this week. 11 are bullish, with 6 neutral, telling us to be a bit more cautious, but still bullish if we have a follow-through day on Tuesday. And the indices can manage a bounce, with sectors sorted by performance for the week. We can see that semiconductors, tech, and communications were leading, so we'd like to see that as a follow-through this week. And we'll trade accordingly if there is strength in semis to start on Tuesday. Stocks from a volume scan that I ran this weekend. Noteworthy, we have Kava, I believe, has earnings this week, so just double check if you're thinking about it. Stochastics oversold on Burlington stores. Note the volume pushing above the 21-day and the 50-day. CHRD as well. Crocs, above average volume, pushing higher. Energy, DTM, midstream, following through. DaVita Health, above average volume, pushes above the 9 and 21-day. Element Solutions, ESI, above average volume Thursday, Friday. Stochastics moving above 50 and rising. Many of these stocks look really strong. Looking for a follow-through. Public service, gas and electric, looking for a pop. Above average volume, it's at 74. Owens Corning, following through, above average volume, and so on. These stocks look pretty good, with strength in stocks like ARM Holdings, looking for a follow-through, with the semiconductors showing the most strength on Thursday and Friday to finish the week. Looking for a follow-through here. ASPN, Aerogels, this has been on the IBD 50 for about 3 or 4 weeks, I believe. Breaking out of a consolidation, looking for a continuation. 21-day, 50-day, pointing up and to the right. Volume was above average on Friday. Celestica, breaking higher. Carlyle Group, Blue Owl Capital, Financial, following through. We had Celsius consolidating. Look for Celsius to do something similar to what Aspen Aerogels did. It's moving sideways like Aspen, Look for a breakout above 95 and a move towards 100 perhaps. Comfort Systems, AC, HVAC related name. Stochastics got back down to 50. Note the volume. That looks like institutions are picking up shares and accumulating a position. Looking for a follow through as it trades near 52-week highs. CrowdStrike, consolidation, look for a follow through. MCore looking strong. Elf Beauty. Remember to check the earnings dates on all of these names. Interactive brokers from the last 3 or 4 weeks continue to stay on the watch list most likely. Look for these broker dealers to continue. This bullish trend looks strong. KKR, also asset managers, financial related name, consolidating, look for a breakout. Netflix and Nvidia, both of these very strong. If it manages to get above 650, look for a follow through in a trend. Remember, the numbers are really strong for Netflix, adding 40 million subscribers that are willing to accept advertising for a lower fee, but those were added recently, announced by the company. A bullish development for sure, and we have analysts all agreeing that Netflix is the number one to beat now in the streaming services group, while Nvidia earnings boosting the stock to higher prices, trading outside the upper Bollinger Bands for the second day on above average volume. Looking for that split to start a position for my kids with shares. Just think about Microsoft. If you had bought back in 1986, what should be worth right now? While Nvidia will have its ups and downs, my opinion is that over time, this is just going to continue to develop as a company and branch off into other areas using artificial intelligence to target their R&D, while the company that makes a lot of chips is definitely something to watch as well, Taiwan Semiconductor. In a bullish trend, having broken out of a descending channel, the depth of the channel is your measured move, and then some. Volume above average, MACD and stochastics showing strength in the stock. I believe Steve Weiss or Joe Terranova mentioned this one on Thursday, Friday. In addition to other stocks in the group like Marvell, trending, bigger base, volume above average Thursday, Friday. Micron in a bullish trend, about to break out of this very brief cup and handle pattern. A break above 132 would confirm. If volume is above average, MACD and stochastics are still positioned for continuation on Micron technology. At the same time, other semiconductors are following through. This is ASML Holdings. Makes the machines that make the chips. Look at volume by price over on the left. Price gets above around 1,000. This one could continue, most likely will, after a big base. Supermicro, looking for that to get back above the 50-day, probably this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, would be nice for a follow-through, breakout of this descending channel. Broadcom was also strong last week. It did have that bearish candle on Thursday, but bulls picked up shares. Look like this is going to continue higher this week. Lam Research, also above the 50-day, 921 crossing up. Volume above average, MACD following through. RSI above 50. All of these semis look very strong. Micron continuing, riding the upper Bollinger Bands. RSI rising. And even lowly Intel getting some press last week, looking for this triple bottom to lead to higher prices. Good risk reward here. Put a stop underneath 30. Very close to where price is right now. So less than 5% pullback would get you out of the stock, but you have upside potential if this base continues to form. And Intel can manage to see a breakout. Bollinger Bands are tightening up, so it could stay down here a little bit longer. Look for institutions to show signs of accumulation. RSI is rising. Not my favorite, but it's just a good risk reward. And looking for a base to continue building and for institutions to pick up shares. Okay, traders, that's going to do it for me. This is Cosveni coming to you from theclosingprint.com with your weekend video newsletter for May the 27th, 2024. I'll send out a watch list later tonight around 12 midnight on the East Coast, around 9 o'clock on the West Coast. So be sure to check your inbox for that. Also, Consider some of the rest of these names down below. The IBD 50 list looks very strong this week. Again, Texas Roadhouse and Wingstop look pretty strong as well. I, on the other hand, I'm going to get outside, enjoy the rest of the day. My son has a function at the water park, so I'm going to get ready for that. Have a great weekend, everyone. What's left of it, we'll see you in the morning. Take care.